Okay, so if you can't tell, I am sitting on the living room floor. Let me catch you up and tell you how I got here to this point in the story. 3 years ago, we were introduced to a young man who was just a light. Through a great relationship with him, got to know him very quickly, and it was very obvious that we had lots of things in common with personality, just our beliefs, the way that we care for family, just lots of different things, even weird stuff like food preferences or just, things that you don't necessarily have in common with people that you just met. Within a matter of a year, we were his legal guardians. Long story short, Philip and I, our hearts had changed. Before meeting Patrick, we had always told people we weren't sure that we could have children. We also didn't know when we would want to start trying to have children because we just don't really rush big things like that in our lives, which is crazy to say because we adopted a young man after only knowing him for a year. We just didn't know when that was going to start for us. We didn't know how soon we wanted all those things to take place, and we just really weren't in a rush to do that, partly because we had Pat. 3 years ago, we started that process of trying to have a child. I don't know if you know anything about fertility and infertility, but doctors will not send you to a specialist or do any types of special medications or tests or things like that until you've been trying to have a child for at least a year. So we let a year go by without any success, and we began then our infertility journey. And that is not scary anymore to say, but at the time it was very scary to say. And back then, in my mind, it said something's wrong with you, and this process that seems so easy for so many people is not going to happen for you. That's not true now, I know that. Again, remember, I'm well into that journey now, and so, just then we were a little bit devastated in the beginning, not really sure what to expect, very confused at times because it's almost like riding a roller coaster. You're getting on the ride, things are very optimistic, you plan to have fun, you plan to make it the best experience, and then it's an uphill climb on the roller coaster, and then you get the news that it didn't work, and then it's a downhill for several days and maybe even weeks at times. Wondering when it's going to happen, how it's going to happen, why has it not happened. And all along that time, we're under the advisement of doctors and nurses, and they're telling us things that are supposed to work, and it's not working. And so for 3 years now, we have been on that journey. I have had ultrasound after ultrasound, blood test after blood test. The first round of medication that we started was Femira. I did the 3 rounds that are required for that, and no success, with very little increase in ovulation. After the Femira, I was prescribed Clomid, which is the step up in fertility meds. And if you know anything about Clomid, then you know that twins and triplets are more likely with that medicine, as well as tubal pregnancies. Yay. So 2 years in, I had completed 3 rounds of Femira and 2 rounds of Clomid. And the reason that I chose to stop was because I found myself in a spiral, because that's what I do. And I was very much consumed with tracking ovulation and keeping up with medicines and checking body temperatures and, the ovulation kits and all these things that take the fun out of making a baby. I decided that I would stop medicine, stop tracking anything, and just take a break. And in addition to that, I had experienced some increase in hair thinning, which at the time I thought was because of the Clomid. Still, again, at this point, I have not been diagnosed, at that point, had not been diagnosed with any issues in ovaries, uterus, tubes, any of that stuff. All of the tests they had done at that point had been normal or within the normal range, and so there was no reason for concern of PCOS or anything like that. So it was very frustrating, as you can probably imagine, because you're taking these medications, you're following doctor's orders to a T, you're doing everything that you know to do, home remedies and science related, and you're still not getting the results that you want. And so you question literally everything: yourself, your faith, your relationship, the timing. Am I going to the doctor enough? Am I taking the right medicine? Am I eating right? Am I drinking right? Am I exercising enough? It was too much. It was very consuming. So for about a year now, we have not been preventing and not been really trying. And it has been actually really a godsend that we chose to pause on all of that. There were some things, like COVID and work-related things and family-related things. So just to add all of that on top of the things that we were already experiencing, it really was a good choice that we made. But now that things are starting to calm down and I feel better about me because I really took myself and put myself under construction during COVID, I used quarantine to just really question myself and my motive and my walk with God and just all kinds of stuff. And I'm now excited to go on this fertility journey once again. So I've swapped doctors now and absolutely love the practice. I absolutely love the doctor. I made sure that they knew why I was there. I didn't want to waste any time. Had this gut feeling that there wasn't anything necessarily wrong with me, but that something was off, something was not right, that they had not detected at the last place, and I needed to know what that was. And I wanted any test, I wanted anything to happen to where we could find out what that was, because I was so tired of everything's great, we're not sure why this is taking so long. We immediately began running some tests, blood work, and all kinds of other things. And within that, imagine that this doctor has now diagnosed me with PCOS. And so if you're not familiar with that, that is polycystic ovary syndrome. Mine is actually an insulin-related version, type, whatever you want to say, of PCOS. So my body has a resistance to insulin. I was then prescribed Clomid again and metformin. I have an answer. I have a plan. I feel like I can now hold this journey by the reins and follow God's lead, of course, but get down this journey in a more productive manner. And that's how we got here. I wish 1,000 times over that it had not taken this long, but I honestly believe that had it have not taken this long, I would not be who and where I am now, today, the person that you're looking at through that computer screen. I have learned so much about myself, about faith, about health, just all kinds of things. And now that I am here and in this moment and okay with opening up and sharing my story with you, I want to make it very clear that this is still a personal matter. There are some things that I will not share and have not shared. And so I really, truly encourage you that if you're going through a season of confusion, doubt, just a journey where you're struggling to see something happen in your life. It might be fertility, it might be a career choice, it might be a big, huge dream you have in some other capacity. Whatever it is, I want to encourage you to talk about it. If you don't hear anything else for the rest of this video, hear this. Talk about your journey. I cannot tell you how important that is. And I'm not telling you to stand on your rooftop and shout it to the world. I mean, do that if that's what you want. What I am saying is find you people who you know you trust, who love you, who are supporting you, who will call you and just check in with you, who will pray for you, fast for you, worship for you, whatever it is. Find those people that you know you can count on and that you can tell your story to. Because if you don't, it's going to be a lonely, lonely journey. I know so because I was lonely. I did not, for the longest time, talk about my feelings with this struggle. What it was doing to my marriage. What it was doing to my health. What it was doing to my faith and my mindset about myself. What it was doing to my view and perspective of other people. Because let me tell you, in the past 3 years, I have watched so many pregnancy announcements. I have thrown several baby showers of loved ones and friends. I have given to baby causes, and that has been hard. But I also want to do that. I don't want, though, to struggle through those processes, what are supposed to be some very fun times for people and for their friends. I don't want to stumble through those times and feel like, I'm less than them because I don't have what they have and I want what they have so bad. Start an online journal. Record some videos from your phone. Talk about it. Share your story. And here's why I say that, not just for you, but for other people. PCOS is so common in women, yet we don't talk about it. And the loss of my hair, that was huge for me. And I didn't tell anybody how I felt about that. And I know that's what made it such a struggle. That's what made it so hard. So what I've learned so far, just really quickly, you are your own advocate. And I kind of touched on this a second ago. You are the person who's going to speak up for you. That's it. You are the one that is responsible for asking the questions, for researching, for listening to your body and saying, no, I know what you said, but at the same time, this is what I feel, and I don't know exactly what the answer is going to be, but this is what I feel. And pay attention to you. Don't leave that up to someone else, because let me tell you, they will fail you. Secondly, don't stop praying. I cannot say this enough. Even when you are boo-hooing in your bed for hours because you have not seen the miracle, and you really in your heart of hearts at that moment feel like it's just not going to happen, pray. It does not matter what you say. It does not matter how long the prayer is. Pray. It does not matter, hear me, it does not matter how mad you are. God's not afraid of your fears. He's not afraid of your tears. He's not afraid of your words. Don't stop praying. PCOS, this is the third point, is not infertility. Because there are ways to help your PCOS. So many women who have PCOS have gotten pregnant, have had children, and have had multiple children. There's lots of reasonings for it, but it is fixable, if you will. So it does take patience. I'm learning. And it does take research, but it's not infertility. And so that's good news. And I just want to encourage anybody who has maybe just gotten the diagnosis that they have PCOS, or they know somebody that has, or somebody that has had, tell them you can have a baby and still have PCOS. Next point, you are not your diagnosis or your tragedy. So I want to be very sensitive here, because there are many women who still have not gotten their miracle, one way or the other. Maybe they're on a journey like me and they're struggling to conceive. or maybe they have conceived and then miscarried, or maybe they actually did give birth and then the sweet little baby went on to heaven for one reason or the other. You're not your diagnosis, and you are not your tragedy. We are responsible as women, as keepers of the faith, to use our diagnosis and use our tragedy to speak light into the world, to speak life into the world. And it starts right here. I cannot speak life into someone else if I'm constantly not speaking life into myself. And then lastly, what I've learned is that the Lord's plan is the best plan. And I will continue to learn this in every avenue of my life. But I can promise you, other than marrying my husband, I have not wanted something more. It's crazy for me to say that because several years ago, I didn't want to be a mom. I didn't think I could be. I didn't feel in my heart of hearts or whatever that I had those characteristics. So to know that God's plan is the best plan, and I could give you so many examples. First of all, I didn't know that I could be a mom, and then I became a mom to someone that wasn't my child, and it was one of, and still is, one of the wildest and best experiences of my life. His plan is the best plan. See, he had to change my heart about me being a mom to a biological child, and he did that by being a mom to an adopted child. I can't explain that any other way, but it is the best plan. And now that I want to be a mom, his plan of giving me that in his timing and in his way, it's the best plan. Yes, it's confusing. Yes, it's hard. Yes, I cry. Yes, I get mad. Yes, I just, I'm like, ugh, can it happen already? But the Lord's plan is the best plan. Don't lose sight of his plan. Don't try to take over his plan. Don't try to manipulate his plan. See, I've done that many times too. It's not going to work. So what's next? Well, first and foremost, I'm going to continue to monitor my health. Testing my sugar 3 times a day has been huge because I'm able to see what types of foods react with my body and how. Really just making time for self-care, making time for my marriage health, family health, and all those things. The things that I started in COVID that I've kind of already posted about before and will continue to post about, those things I want to keep. My therapy, my journaling, writing music, going on walks. I'm also going to continue to become the best me. And here's why. I cannot be a good mom without being my best self. You know the saying, nobody's happy unless mama's happy. I don't want to just be happy. I want to thrive. I want to be fruitful. I want to be anointed. Whatever it is that I'm going to face with my baby and my family, I want to be prepared for that. And the only way to do that is to be the best me that God has called me to be. So I also want to continue to work on that. What's next is for us to believe for a miracle. I want to invite you to get on our roller coaster with us, believe with us for this miracle, and watch what God does because he's so great. I'm excited, and I thank you for being patient and taking the time to listen to this video and listen to my story. I'm very hopeful and excited as far as what's going to happen and what our ending results are going to be. I'm so nervous to hit the stop button to stop recording because then that means I have to edit, and then that means I have to post it and then share it. And I wish I had like this little catchphrase that I could say at the end. Maybe I'll think about that and add it. Come back real soon, and I hope that you are blessed. I hope that you find and you be and you experience everything that you want in your life. And God bless you and love you. And I'm gonna stop the video now. Bye. So I was watching some videos back, and I decided that I wanted to come back for just a little snippet here towards the end because I realized I didn't pray just a second ago. I remember saying that I wish I had a catchphrase or something that I could say to end out the videos, and it dawned on me. My phrase is going to be a prayer. Lord, I just thank you so much for this time and this opportunity to be able to share stories and to be able to encourage people in their journeys. And I just thank you for my specific journey, because it has been tailored to me, giving me everything that I need to make me the best me. Take the miracle out of it and everything else makes sense. Put the miracle back in and it's going to be one heck of a ride, and I cannot wait for what that's going to feel like and sound like and be like. And so I just speak peace and clarity and productivity, motivation. I speak blessings over every single viewer and myself and my family and my tribe, and their tribes and their people and anybody that they come in contact with or share this video to. I just pray, God, that you lift them up, you protect them, provide for them, and give them what they need, so that in the middle, in the in-betweens, from the beginning to the end, all of that in between, give them what they need, God, so that the ending is even better. I thank you and I love you. In Jesus' name, amen, and be blessed.